welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Previously, I did side quests in Kakariko Village and the Graveyard. I got the Sun Song, as well as a few heart pieces and Skulltulas here and there. Anyways, onward. Now I want to show off what the Sun Song does here in Hyrule Field at night. So as you can see, the sun is setting because, well, it is near the end of the day. Just go ahead and play the Sun Song literally anywhere and it will change the time. Well, obviously it doesn't work inside of houses and such, and it doesn't immediately make it daytime here. You have to wait a few seconds because this place has a day and night cycle. So anyways, head towards a circular area here in the center of the field to enter Lon Lon Ranch. You've heard about this place a couple times, but we have not actually been here yet. Anyways, now that we are here, a few things to do in particular. Of course, you may have noticed Malon right there in the center field, but actually first let's head into their house here. And I see someone familiar. I don't know about the rest of you, but here is Talon. So he, of course, if you hadn't picked up on it already, is a very lazy farmer, lazy rancher, which is sort of the opposite of what you would expect to a farm. I mean, if you're going to upkeep a farm, it's a lot of work. It is nothing to, nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to take for granted. I mean, it's a serious job, and because you're literally providing all of your own resources, as well as, I don't know, a good life for your livestock or whatever it is you have. Anyway, he's going to talk about a Super Cucco game that he has there. And again, I know you think it's a Super Cuccos, but it's not. It's cuccos. So you can pay 10 rupees to play a Super Cucco game, and I'll explain it to you. You have 30 seconds to find the 3 cuccos that he throws into the crowd of them. There is actually a way to cheat by picking up all the cuccos and throwing them behind the ledge there before the game starts, but I didn't do that because I wanted to show it off legitimately. So there's one of them. You have 2 more to find. Now, there really is no way to cheat here. There is no physical difference between any of the cuccos. The game just deems whichever one is a Super Cucco and whichever one isn't. I managed to do it my first try though, so that was pretty good for me. Now, this can be decently difficult if you're a new time player, but just keep picking up cuccos, and your instinct is probably to jitter the A button, which will make you roll. I wouldn't necessarily do that as a strategy, just because you can roll and it can scare the cuccos off, and then you will lose precious seconds. Once that is done, you can listen to him ramble on. So, very interesting life he leads here. Oh yeah, he asks if we want to marry his daughter. You can choose whichever one you want. It really doesn't matter. He says the exact same thing. He just says, "That's funny. You're a bit young for that. Wait till you're older." Anyway, once you're done with that, actually he has something very nice and very valuable to give you. If you remember in the previous video, after herding cuccos, I gathered them all together, brought them back to the pen, and I was received an empty bottle. Well, now here's the second one, except this one has milk inside of it. And if you're wondering, yes, after you drink the milk, you can keep the bottle when you're done. So you can use it for pretty much whatever you need to use it for. Now, Lon Lon Milk, very nice. It restores 5 recovery hearts if you have those. It restores 5 recovery hearts by 1 sip, and you have 2 servings of it here. Pretty nice. Alright, this time, now it is time to venture out. But before that, come over to this tree and roll into it to reveal another golden Skulltula. Oh, I got hit. There it is. Alright, I'm going to assume by now that you understand the basic controls of the game, since we're a good 15-20% in the game now. I don't know. No, not that far. 10 to 15% in the game. We are a good ways into the game now, 5 videos, so I'm going to assume that you understand the basic controls such as moving around, using the sword, using C items, things like that. If you're not familiar with those, I'd suggest you practice with those a bit more, because it is really going to slow you down if you don't understand the basic controls. Alright, onward to the ranch pen here, very large in the center of the field. Here is Malon. You probably remember her from the previous video, or previous 2 videos, whichever it is, I don't remember. So, we remember her dad, Talon, was sleeping after he delivered some milk because he's very lazy and he's not much of a hustler. So, hopefully that will be he will be cured of that in the future, but as for right now, you can talk to her and she'll tell you about that little horse right there, her pony friend. Anyway, so Epona is her name, and she's not very fond of us, so maybe we come off as intimidating or scary, or maybe she just doesn't like boys, I don't know. Anyway, once you're done with that, she's going to eventually start talking about a song that her mother composed. So once you're done with that, you want to pull out your ocarina, and that will cue her in to teach you a song. When I was a kid, I really got stuck here. I had no idea what to do. Of course, yes, I had the ocarina, but I did not think to pull it out. Probably not my first instinction. I don't know. It just wasn't obvious to me. Once you're done with that, she will teach you Epona's song: C up, C left, and C right. 2 times. And there you go. So now we've learned Epona's song, and if you look at this, she will actually follow us around. So I wanted to show that off a little bit. You can just walk around, and you can even take her outside of this, although it's not really ideal because she's supposed to be in there. Look at that. She's like all over us now, but then after a few seconds, she'll be scared of you, and then she'll run away again. Epona's song, while not very helpful right now, it will be sooner on in this game, I promise. Actually, one useful thing that you can do with Epona's song is you can come to any cow in the game, play it in front of the cow, and you will receive free milk. But the thing is, we haven't actually seen any cows yet in this game, so you may be wondering where you can find them. May not seem obvious at first, but interestingly enough, you come in this windmill thing right here. I'm not sure quite what this is, but you come in here, and there are cows in there, as well as giant boxes of milk, just like the ones that I saw outside of the castle. So it may not seem like anything at first, but they are hiding something very, very important, and I wanted to show that off here. I was trying to make it more visible so you could see what I'm doing. So go ahead and drop down and move these boxes, and up against the corner of the wall, the top left corner, I guess, I don't know, you want to push the box out of the way. Oh, I sort of got a weird camera angle. Push the boxes out of the way, and would you look at that? There is a small, tiny crawl space. Oh, and look at that. Gaze your eyes upon the prize, crawl through the hole, and collect your prize. Very good. That makes 3 pieces of heart now, if you've been following along with me. So, very good. We have 1 more piece of heart to collect, and then we will have a full heart container. So if you've been following along with me, you should have 11 gold Skulltulas, 3 pieces of heart, 3 ocarina songs, as well as the Kokiri's emerald. Well, I assume that everyone here at this point is going to have the Kokiri's emerald, because it's impossible to get here without the use of glitches, without the Kokiri's emerald. So I'm going to assume that you have it at this point. There's no way you shouldn't. That is pretty much all there is to do here at the ranch. So all that's left now is to actually do a few more things. So there are a few more side quests in Kokiri Forest to do, and we've made up to the Lost Woods. We are going to go and find Saria, because if you remember previously, Navi interrupted me and she said something about Saria, and she is our next destination. So let's go to the forest and see if we can find her. Alright, here we are in the forest, almost, after crossing the bridge. And this is where we're going to be in the Lost Woods. You may have seen during the cutscene. But actually, before I do any of that, I want to go ahead and play the sun song to make it nighttime, because actually there is a golden Skulltula that I can pick up here in the forest at night. Now, I know there's nothing that would make this obvious. I just know where all of the golden Skulltulas are, so I'm going to show them off. Now, it is right behind here, the house of the Know-It-All Brothers, which, if you don't know what this place is, whenever you get the Kokiri sword, there's a sign next to the treasure chest that talks about it. They answer all gameplay related questions, such as controls, things like that. Anyways, you may need to do a jump attack to get this golden Skulltula, because it's pretty high up. Or, I guess, alternatively, if you're not good at that, you could just wait until you get the boomerang. Anyway, once you're done with that, now it is finally time to go into the Lost Woods. But before you even do that, actually there's something else I wanted to show off inside of Mido's house. You can come here, you can talk to him, he's still going to be sulking, but he's actually going to give you some guidance to the Lost Woods and as to where that is. So he explains that it is in the ledge that is north, overlooking the village. Not sure if that was obvious or not. You may have visited it already just to check it out. There wasn't really much you could do there before now, but I can show you right there on the map. There's Kokiri Forest, and there's the Lost Woods. It is a glowing area on the map subscreen. Anyway, there's another glowing area, but we'll be going there later. Alright, that's all there is to do here in Kokiri Forest. Now let's actually go into the Lost Woods. And you don't have to play the Sun Song here. I just did it because I wanted it to be daytime, so you can disregard that, I guess, if you want to. But anyways, now actually time to venture up into the Lost Woods. And these are the climbable vines here in Kokiri Forest that I didn't talk about before I went into the Great Deku Tree. So there, I guess maybe you could discover climbing vines before going into the Great Deku Tree. Here it is, this log tunnel here, the Lost Woods. That's how the sign reads. Very interesting place, and you may have noticed on the map while coming back into Kokiri Forest, the map itself is just a square, and the Lost Woods probably has one of the most popular music in all of the, or one of the most popular soundtracks in the Legend of Zelda franchise. So you go forward and to the left a couple areas, and you'll see that the owl Kapora Gabora is here. And he's basically going to tell you a hint about how to reach Saria. So the way that the Lost Woods works is that it's sort of an area of chance where you have to pick the right tunnel, but it's set, so like it doesn't change. It's always at a fixed state, so the path never changes. So just select no. An easy way to figure it out is you get near a tunnel, and then you have to listen if the music gets louder or quieter, and that is how you know if you're going the right way or not. But anyways, I will teach you the path very simply if you want to just reach it. From the start, once you enter the Lost Woods, the correct path to take is right, left, forward, left, right. So I am on the one right now, forward, and then you go left, and then right after that you go right. And that's all there is to it. So an easier way to tell would be if you can see a white space in the tunnel there. However, you just saw the white space there, but that just means that it takes you to a different loading zone. So that is an indicator that takes you the wrong way. Anyway, here's a new enemy called a Wolfos. Now, of course, as the name suggests, it is a wolf-like enemy, and its attacks are the claws. It can sling at you. If it slashes at you like that and it turns its back on you, you can use a jump attack to kill it. Jump attack is hold Z and press A. Or alternatively, you could just Z target it and then press A. And then, of course, up here there is a new enemy. These right here are Mad Deku Scrubs, or Mad Scrubs, as the actual game calls them. But you fight them pretty much the same way as Deku Scrubs, except these things actually are enemies, as to which you do want to kill them. You don't want to hit them and then they'll talk to you and say, sorry, let me tell you something helpful. They actually are an enemy. So, and it's also worth noting that they will shoot 3 Deku nuts instead of just 1. So, just keep that in mind as you fight them. Holding the shield up with you, the R button, is a very useful strategy to fighting them. If you're fast enough, you could just slice them with your sword, if that's how you prefer to kill them. Also, you may have noticed the camera angle changes up. That's just so that you can see how to get through here easier. You can't actually change it. You see, I was pressing C up to trying to go into first-person mode, and it wasn't letting me. So, it doesn't matter though, because I'm pretty much at the end. And the Sacred Forest Meadow is not really a maze. You can look at it on the map. It sort of has this S-shaped path, and then it's got this square, and then just a path with stairs up here to the end. So climb these stairs where you will eventually meet up with Saria. Now that we've learned Saria's song, I wanted to show off its function that you can do here in the game. So Saria says that you can talk to her anytime by using Saria's song. So if I play it here, which it's C down, C right, and then C left to play it 2 times. And actually at this point in the game, I'm going to assume that you understand how to play the ocarina, because you can literally just take time with it on your own practice. You play notes with A and the 4 C buttons, and that's pretty much all there is to it. So, as you can see, I just talked to Saria, and she says, I prefer to talk with you face to face, but then, actually, if you do go back and talk to her, I didn't show it off, but if you do go back and talk to her, she'll just tell you that, hey, you can talk to me anytime using Saria's song. Seems like it's just completely useless, but actually it is necessary for the main quest in this game. Anyways, more on that in the next video, but as for right now, I wanted to show something else off before leaving the Sacred Forest Meadow, or the Lost Woods. So you fall down here, and then there's a hole. You fall down the hole, and that takes you here to a fairy fountain. And I didn't talk about fairies yet, but fairies in this game are a method of healing. So you can walk through them, and they will do a full recovery. So it doesn't matter how many hearts. You can have all the hearts in the game. Say you're down to 1/4 of a heart, a fairy will heal all your hearts. A full recovery. And this is one of the only games that does it in the series. Most of them only go up to like 5 hearts, some of them only go up to 8 hearts, which is still useful, but not as useful as a full recovery. They probably did it that way because they thought that fairies maybe were a bit overpowered. Anyway, they can be stored in empty bottles, so you can take them with you, and they can revive you when you die, as well as you can use them whenever you want. Pretty awesome. Anyways, after you leave the Sacred Forest Meadow, Gabora will be right there to interrupt you. You won't even have a chance to move, seriously, because while you walk into the area, you literally walk into the, not the loading zone, but the interaction area to speak with Gabora. And he's going to tell you about Ocarina songs and how you can find them. They're on the quest status subscreen, as I've showed off. And I also would recommend that you memorize those songs, just the tunes and how to play them. They're very simple songs. We've learned nothing too difficult yet. There really aren't any difficult songs to learn, but so far we've just learned the same 3 notes that get repeated twice for 3 songs. For Zelda's Lullaby, for Epona's song, and for Saria's song. Now there is actually one more thing to do here, or actually 2 more things. No, sorry, 3 more things. Jeez, I can't keep track of all this. There are 3 more things to do here in the Lost Woods. So to reload the area, just go ahead and get lost, just by going through any one of the tunnels that doesn't take you to the straight path. Anyways, so once you re-enter, go ahead and make a right, and you may have noticed this while I was journeying to the Sacred Forest Meadow, but you didn't actually do anything with it yet. So pull out your slingshot, and you want to aim somewhat near the center. It's not perfectly accurate because the Nintendo 64 was only so good back then, and you want to shoot it 3 times for this Deku Scrub to come out. So, I just got an upgrade for the slingshots. Now you can hold 40 slingshot pellets. And that's all there is to it. As you can see, it's right there on the equipment subscreen. Unfortunately, actually, there is no way to see what wallet you have. The only way you can know what wallet you have is by collecting rupees. Anyways, enough on that. You can come up here and then pull your ocarina out. And this right here is sort of a memorization section. So these 2 skull kids right here, which that's what these things are called, skull kids, they're going to give you some notes to play, and then you have to follow along with them in order to keep up. So there are 3 times that you do this, and this isn't really a minigame, it's just sort of a very, very small side quest. This is not required at all, I just wanted to show it off because it's something that you can do. So there are 3 times you can play with these guys, and the first time is just 5 notes, very simple, and they're just all going to be random. There's no strategy or method for this, you just have to memorize Maybe you can write stuff down or take a picture of it with your phone, I guess now in this day and age. So the first time you win, you get a green rupee, and then you can choose if you want to play with them again. The second time you play with them, there will be 6 notes, and then the last time you play with them, there will be 8 notes. And actually, this is towards getting a piece of heart, so you can show it off. The first 3 notes they play, well, they start all these musical staffs off with 3 notes, and then they add a 4th note, and they both play their flutes one right after the other, just so that you can get more information on what the song is, and so that you have another chance to look at it before you have to try and play it yourselves. If you accidentally play a wrong note or press the B button, then you'll have to start over, not all 3 of them, but just that one that you're on. Anyway, I skipped over a little bit of that, so I just finished the last song, which is 8 notes, and once you're done with that, it is time for you to collect your reward of, that's right, another piece of heart. So that is the 4th piece of heart that I've got so far in this game. If you followed along with me correctly, you should have 5 heart containers just like me. So open the quest status subscreen, 4 pieces of heart, the thing will go up to having none of them in there, because now I've started the next heart container. So that is it for that place, but that is not it for the Lost Woods. There's just one more thing to do here, and it's just over to this side. So since I learned Saria's song, the only thing you want to do here is just step on that stool, and then you should play it for this skull kid here. Now, again, this also is not something that seems obvious, but you just want to play Saria's song for him, and that is all that there is to do here. He's going to jump off and then give you another piece of heart. So that is actually going to conclude this video. In the next video, I will be progressing in the main story of the game. So once you get the piece of heart, just go ahead and make your way back to Kokiri Forest, and then join me in the next video to where we will be going back towards the main quest.